There I was standing in my driveway, jaw practically on the floor, as my sister Sarah climbed out of a shiny black Mercedes SUV that screamed, "I cost more than your dreams." Just last week, she'd whined to me about being too broke to start paying back the $45,000 she'd borrowed, money I'd scraped together over years for a house down payment. Now here she was, running her manicured hand along the car's flawless hood like she'd just won the lottery. "Picked it up yesterday," she said, grinning. "Unbelievable lease deal. You wouldn't believe the bells and whistles this thing's got." I'm Emily Harper, 32, a graphic designer who'd spent years pinching pennies and clocking overtime to build a future. That $45,000? It wasn't just cash. It was my ticket out of renting, handed over to Sarah a year ago when she begged for help. "I thought you were drowning in debt," I said, fighting to keep my voice from shaking. "You said you needed that money to avoid bankruptcy." Sarah flicked her hand like she was swatting a fly. "Oh, I still am. This is different, it's just a lease. Besides, I needed something reliable for work." "Reliable?" I flashed back to the day she'd shown up at my door, mascara-streaked and sobbing about credit card bills, her house on the line. How she'd lose everything without my help. I'd written that check on the spot, gutting my savings because, well, that's what sisters do, right? "Your old car was 3 years old," I shot back. "And you swore you'd start paying me back in 6 months. She rolled her eyes. "Don't be so uptight, Emily. You're fine, you've always been the money wizard. It's not like you need it right this second." She checked her reflection in her phone, then added casually, "Oh, did I mention I'm planning a Europe trip this summer? You should come, though it might stretch your budget." I was speechless. The way she brushed off my loan implied my financial discipline meant I didn't deserve repayment. And then dangled a lavish vacation in my face while sitting on my $45,000. It hit me like a freight train. "Actually, I do need it," I said, voice firm. "It was for a house down payment." She shrugged. "Maybe you're better off renting. Owning a place is such a hassle." As she sped off to a spa appointment. "Lunch soon, okay?" Something inside me snapped. A year of excuses, dodged promises. And now this gleaming Mercedes crystallized the truth. Sarah wasn't just bad with money. She was playing me. And I'd let her. Growing up, Sarah was the golden child, charming, persuasive, always landing on her feet. At 19, she maxed out her first credit card. Mom and Dad bailed her out. She flunked out of college after 3 pricey semesters. They called it finding herself. Every mess came with a rescue and a check. Me? I worked through school, clawed my way up in graphic design, saved religiously. They dubbed me the responsible one. But it always sounded like a consolation prize next to Sarah's dazzling chaos. That night, I stared at my bank statements. A year ago, I'd had $60,000, enough for a solid down payment. Now, I was stuck in a cramped apartment while Sarah cruised in luxury. My phone buzzed. "Mom. Sarah showed us her new car, gorgeous, right? Such a steal." Of course she got a steal. She always did. While staying perpetually broke. I considered spilling the truth, but I knew Mom's line, she's struggling since the divorce. That divorce was 3 years ago. Yet it still excused everything. Never mind the paid-off house and fat settlement she'd squandered. I dug up Sarah's desperate email from last year. "I'll pay you back in 6 months, I swear. You're my only hope, Emily, I could lose it all. You're so good with money, please help." Followed by months of excuses, car repairs, taxes, a leaky roof. Yet she'd managed salon trips, getaways. And now a Mercedes. A new email popped in. "Sarah, flaunting car pics to the family, new beginnings. Sometimes you have to treat yourself." With my money. My hands shook as I slammed my laptop shut. The next day I turned detective. Every email, text, bank transfer, I compiled it all. My design skills kicked in, crafting a timeline of her promises and lies. It was almost comical, tearful pleas. Then radio silence, peppered with brags about her latest splurges. I even found the napkin she'd scribbled her repayment plan on, 6 months, monthly amounts, all ignored. It joined my growing evidence pile. Then Sarah texted, "Spa weekend with friends next month, join us. We'll figure out a payment plan for your share." I stared, dumbfounded. She wanted me to pay for a spa trip while she sat on my savings? My cousin Lisa called that night. "Saw Sarah's car on Instagram," she said warily. "Isn't she the one who borrowed your house money?" "Yep," I replied. "Emily," Lisa said, voice firm, "you've got to act. My husband's a lawyer. He says you should have had it in writing. She was right. I trusted family. Time to fix that. You know the family will flip, Lisa warned. They'll say you're heartless, that Sarah's struggling. She's been struggling since high school, I snapped. Meanwhile, I'm in a one-bedroom because my savings are parked in her driveway. After we hung up, I researched small claims court. My state's limit covered most of what she owed. I drafted a demand letter. Hands trembling as I typed Sarah Harper. This would torch family dinners, my nice sister role, my doormat status. But staring at my tiny apartment, I felt steel in my spine. Sarah picked that Mercedes over me. Now I was picking myself. I sent the letter certified mail, keeping the receipt. 3 days later, Sarah stormed into my place waving it. Are you kidding me with this legal crap? I'm your sister. You don't sue family. You've had a year to act like a sister, I said coolly. Now we're adults with a deal you broke. It's just money. She cried, collapsing on my couch, tears on cue. Family's bigger than that. Yeah, family's huge, I agreed. So huge I gave you my future when you begged. How's that going? You know I've been struggling. Not too much for a Mercedes, those boots, or that Europe trip. Her tears vanished. Rage took over. You're jealous I live a little while you hoard pennies. No. I'm pissed you used my money for your living and left me with nothing. She grabbed her purse. Fine, sue me. See how mom and dad like that, they already think you're obsessed with money. You mean responsible? How awful, I shot back. She stormed out and my phone exploded. Mom. Why threaten her? Dad. Let's talk, no lawyers. I texted back. Sarah took $45,000. Promised repayment in 6 months. Yesterday she bought a Mercedes. I'm done being her ATM. Mom. She needs that car for work. Dad. We'll figure out a plan. Sarah. Airing private stuff? Low blow. I laughed at that. Private, like her social media car parade? Money's owed, public or not, I replied. 30 days or court. Family dinner was a war zone. Mom made Sarah's favorite pasta. Like carbs could erase $45,000. Why so aggressive? She asked, passing bread. Sarah struggling, say, rough time again, I'm out, I cut in. She's been struggling for 15 years while driving a car worth more than my loan. It's for my career. Sarah insisted. I need to look successful. Try paying debts. That's success, I said. Pulling out my evidence folder. This is fraud. Dad spoke up. Maybe we could chip in. No, I snapped. She faces this, not you. We're family. Mom pleaded. Family helps. Where was that when I needed a roommate after college? I asked. Sarah had space, but you said I should learn independence. That was different, Sarah huffed. Yeah, because it was me needing help. Silence. Mom teared up. Dad stared at his plate. Sarah glared. I'm filing next week, I said, standing. Pay up or tell it to the judge. This'll ruin everything. Sarah hissed. It's already ruined, I replied. It ruined when you chose a Mercedes over your word. Sarah turned the family into her army. Aunts called me cruel, cousins preached loyalty. Grandma sighed about my choices. I saved their messages, more proof of her manipulation. Only Lisa stuck by me, texting support and legal tips. A week before court, my parents ambushed me with Sarah at their house. Dad waved a checkbook. We'll pay half. Drop the case. No, I said. She owns this. I could lose my car. Sarah wailed. Should have thought of that before spending my money, I countered. Mom sobbed, you're tearing us apart. Sarah did that, I said. I'm just not pretending anymore. Sarah bolted, yelling. You'll regret this. I turned to my parents. If you pay her debt, I'll name you in court for obstruction. They froze, finally seeing me as more than their pushover daughter. Court day. I showed up polished, evidence in hand. Lisa tagged along for backup. Sarah waltzed in late, dripping in designer gear. The judge, a no BS woman in her 60s, dissected my case. Transfers, promises. Sarah's spending spree. Sarah tried her act, tears, divorce, sob story, career necessity. The judge wasn't buying it. You bought a luxury car while owing $45,000? It's a lease in this vacation? Work-related. Sarah squirmed. No, but Miss Harper, the judge cut in, this court doesn't tolerate such flagrant disregard for debts. Judgment for the plaintiff. $45,000, payable in 90 days. Sarah gasped, I don't have that. Sell the car, the judge deadpanned. Outside, Sarah lunged. Happy now? You've wrecked everything. You wrecked it, I said steady. When you picked luxury over integrity. She sold the Mercedes, paid half in a month, griping online about betrayal. Family dinners? Tense. Mom pushed peace, I dodged. But ripples spread. Cousins sought my advice. Aunt Susan cut off her deadbeat son. Uncle George admitted I'd inspired his daughter to repay a loan. Dad shocked me at the reunion, handing me $25,000. Not for Sarah, he said. For you. We owed you this years ago. Respect at last. 6 months later, Sarah cleared the debt, started budgeting. I bought a house, smaller than planned, but mine. At the housewarming, Lisa framed a quote, sometimes peace costs your self-respect. It hangs in my office, a badge of battles won. Sarah sent a card, congrats. No drama, just distance. Mom mourned. Dad backed me. The family shifted, but I'd found something better, me.